Starting, no?
Correct.
Okay.
Let's start. Today is August the 11th, 2023. We are at Sacred Virtual Institute Moral Classroom. Dr. Lotus King-Weiss is working with our co-leader, Mr. Doik Shim. Mr. Doik Shim is a local resident in our community here ever since which time?
2018.
Okay, so Mr. Doik Shin has been here since 2018?
Oh, no,
Or
2008. 2008.
2008.
Yeah.
Okay.
2008.
So, Dr. Lotus King-Weiss, that's me, came to this community in the spring of 2015. Okay. So you came here 7 years before myself. Okay. Now, for me, I came to this community in the spring of 2015 with a mission to open up the first Chinese charter school in New York State. The Chinese charter school's name is the Whole Elephant Chinese Charter School. 2012, I started to apply for the charter in order to open the Whole Elephant Chinese Charter School. The application was successfully submitted to the charter school authorizer in New York State called New York State Department of Education Charter School Office. The application was reviewed and picked among 78 applicants to be the candidate for final approval. About 28, I think, around 28 candidates from 78 applicants were chosen to go through the next step of approval. However, our application was very quickly taken out from the 28 chosen ones and mysteriously disappeared without a reason. When I called the charter school office director, Mr. Cliff Chong, inquiring into why our application was posted on the website but suddenly disappeared without notifying us any reason, Mr. Cliff Chong didn't have an answer. Later on, Mr. Cliff Chong very nervously got someone from the same office to be present and stated that it was because our application was considered to be not complete. And the reason that the application was considered to be not complete, although they already reviewed and chose our application and never identified that it was not complete. And suddenly they claim that this application is not complete after they saw the media report, newspaper report, stating that I am a Falun Dafa practitioner. Okay. So a letter was sent from the charter school office stating that this application is not complete due to lacking of signatures. That is the members, the signatures are supposed to be from the founding members, founding board members. And the founding board members have 5. And the signatures were not completed. It's true, but it's not severe enough to totally disappear our application. They should inquire into the reason why we could not complete the very standard, easy. When you have a charter school application over 100 pages, you have all the details that satisfied the review. Only the signatures of the board members are not complete, and also explanations were given why those signatures were not completed. Was because the board members, they were concerned about putting their signatures onto this application will make them a target of persecution by the Chinese government, even in America. Okay, so when that happened, that was 2012. The charter school office of New York State rapidly disappeared. Over 100 pages of hard effort of a great charter school application that was very rapidly spread the news by all mainstream media, English media in New York City. That included New York Times, New York Post, New York, Daily News, Time Ledger, right? And Wall Street Journal.
Mm-hmm.
So this news was spread all over the place in New York City, and many New York City residents were excited about this school's opening. Mm-hmm. In the school district 25, where this school is supposed to be established, at the time when I walked on the street, I always, was kind of greeted by local community moms and grandmoms that they are so excited to await for the opening of this school, because they think they themselves, not only their children, but they themselves want to study, Chinese language and culture. Okay. So when I was putting the application in the application, I specifically also pointed out the extreme urgency for this school to be established in Flushing community, because I pointed out that the Flushing community, the Chinese immigrants, they actually are still enslaved by the Chinese Communist Party. Mm-hmm. And even in America, they are afraid to send their children, to really kind of learn the authentic traditional Chinese culture. Among them, it's about the ancient practice of mind, body, and spirit called Falun Dafa. I laid out in the application that Falun Dafa is a great practice for all our children, school children, and for all the families in this community. But because of the fear of this practice becoming target of the Chinese Communist government leader Jiang Zemin, all the Flushing community immigrants' children, they have no opportunity, even in America, to learn Falun Dafa. Okay, and the immigrants refuse, to hear the truth about Falun Dafa. And not only so, they help the Chinese government to persecute Falun Dafa practitioners in this community. They discriminate Falun Dafa practitioners. They refuse to rent their home, their apartment to Falun Dafa practitioners. They refuse to rent storefront to Falun Dafa practitioners. They even refuse to allow Falun Dafa practitioners to enter into their restaurant. If a Falun Dafa practitioner wearing a yellow T-shirt and enter into a restaurant on the main street, the owner of the restaurant kick the practitioners out from the restaurant. So the discrimination is very serious. And then it escalated in the year of 2008 into a huge hate crime incidences in Flushing after the Sichuan earthquake. The Sichuan earthquake killed a lot of children, over 20,000. Due to the Chinese government officials, they use the funding for school building. They put it into their own pockets and replace it with cheap materials. So the the cement was replaced by some other stuff. That when the earthquake occurs, all the school buildings collapsed and all the children were buried alive. Mm-hmm. So the Sichuan parents were heartbroken and very angry, and they were about to protest big time against the Chinese Communist government. But the Chinese government played a trick on them, claiming to them that the Falun Gong practitioners are celebrating Sichuan earthquake. And, Falun Gong practitioners claim that those people deserve to die. And the Falun Gong practitioners were playing drums and celebrating big time of Sichuan earthquake in Flushing, leading to the news got spread. First of all, the people inside of China started to hate Falun Gong practitioners. Instead of protesting against the Chinese government, they started to hate Falun Dafa practitioners. So the Chinese government very quickly shifted the attention of the Sichuan angry moms and dads. And the Falun Dafa practitioners were subjected to illegal detention, arrest, torture, killing inside of China when the Chinese government played that trick. So outside of China, in several major cities in different countries, like America is Flushing, they have chosen, and in Japan, I think Tokyo, several big cities, the CCP sent thugs. The people can beat up people, thugs, and they pretend to be Falun Gong practitioners. And they go on the street and yelling that they are celebrating Sichuan earthquake and deceiving the Chinese immigrants, making Chinese immigrants hate Falun Dafa practitioners. And so they also send out reporters into Flushing community. They send about 200 thugs. They send lots of reporters of the Chinese hate media. And then they staged big time conflict. They pretending, some of them, they pretend to be the Chinese immigrants. Some of them, they pretending to be Falun Dafa practitioners. They make chaos in the community and leading to big time hate crimes, targeting against the innocent Falun Dafa practitioners on the street, who were just peacefully giving out flyers, as you always see. They go on the street, have a booth under the authorization of the local police station 109 precinct. They give out flyers about persecution truce. That day, in May, I think it's May 18th or something, in the year of 2008, the Flushing street became like a cultural revolution in China. The Chinese people started to exercise hate towards Falun Dafa practitioners, and the founder of the Whole Elephant Institute, Dr. Wang, and little Lotus Blossom, who were only at the time 2.5 years old, sitting in the stroller, was surrounded and attacked by the CCP thugs. Okay, so all these informations were put into the charter school application. And so it was basically, my intention is to educate the New York State Department of Education charter school office that, Flushing is a very unique community. Flushing Chinese immigrants, children are under great danger. They are American citizens, but they are raised under the ideologies of Chinese Communist Party, because the parents, they follow the CCP ideologies, they watch the CCP news, they exercise hatredness towards America even, okay? And they all claim poverty, try to get food stamps and all those free benefits as immigrants, but at the same time, they do a lot of illegal business, and then they accumulate money and they send back to China. And those money, again, fall into the control of the CCP government. And so basically now we have a group of, in every regard, the CCP agents, not registered, but work for CCP government. And the children, they are American citizens, but they are enslaved by these CCP-controlled parents and grandparents. And so how we're going to be able to help this kind of unique population was my number one concern. Okay, pause.